Hello, hello. This is Sam Walkden. I'm the creator of It Simulations All the Way Down, this game. I just released it yesterday, and I'm going to make a little video of me playing through the whole thing, unscripted, maybe a bit of editing, depends how this video goes. But I'm just going to play through the game, explain what I did to make the game, the design decisions behind it, and yeah, just a bit of context, I guess. This is mainly for my portfolio, just to show off, how the game actually works. It is available to buy on itch, but this is just going to be me playing through the majority of it. Of course, spoilers, because I'm going to show off everything that happens. So if you want to play it for yourself and discover things yourself, don't watch this video and go buy the game. But if you don't want to buy the game, then you can just watch me play it instead. And I guess I can give you a little bit more information about things as well. So a little bit of context before I actually start playing the game. This game was originally created for a university project, that being experimental game design. It was just a prototype to begin with, and I just pitched this prototype. It was very basic, and since I've graduated from doing my master's in game design, I decided to fully flesh out the game. I thought the concept was really good and there was potential there, and I wanted to complete it and have it readily available for people to buy and play, which I have finally done. So this is the final product. Of course, I'm going to keep adding content and adding things if there is significant interest, but for now the game is released, the game is done. So also a little bit of background about me. I used to study philosophy also for my undergraduate degree, and I've got a degree in philosophy. I wrote my dissertation on the topic, are you currently living in a simulation? And looking at simulation theory, theory of mind, theories surrounding AI, because I thought these were interesting topics and were becoming more and more prevalent topics when I was studying philosophy a couple of years ago. It is a couple of years now ago. That feels really weird to me. But I wrote my dissertation about that, and I wanted to use that knowledge and the extensive research that I did into this topic to create a game all about that, and sort of teaches the player about these different philosophies, try and get the player thinking in a philosophical way, introducing my own philosophies and ideas in the game as well. And hopefully that creates an interesting experience. So I'm actually going to start playing the game now. You don't actually have to put in a username or password. This is just sort of, this never comes up again. It's just sort of to simulate the idea of, using your home computer. I'm going to go into it now, and you can see it's very much like Windows XP. The reason for this being is the paper that this game is based off of was something called, I can't remember the name off the top. I wrote a whole dissertation on it, and I don't remember the name off the top of my head. It was by Nick Bostrom, and I think it was called "Are You Currently Living in a Simulation?" Something along those lines. And he talks about a theory which states how we should be convinced that the most probable outcome for humanity is that we are in a world that is simulated, and that is the most probable outcome. I will get into that philosophy later. It is very long and complicated, and I haven't even started playing the game yet, so I will get into it later. But the idea revolves around widely accessible, huge, vast amounts of computing power being created in the future. If humans keep on developing computers and we stick around for, millions of years' time, if humans are still around and computers are always being advanced, then we'll get to a point where simulations can just be run like at a click of a button. Like loads of conscious AI people, real living things on a computer can be readily available. And I've gone with an aesthetic where you're creating simulations on on your basic personal home computer. Anyone can simulate something on their computer. This is what you're doing in the game right now. So, but everything doesn't look high tech like millions of years time. I will get into that further. That's a little bit of spoiler. Well, I'll get into that later. But yeah, so the first thing is you see this. You see a notification. You can click on these, but I'm not going to do that next. We're going to go into the SMS messaging thing. We've got our boss here, and he's telling us we're an intern and we should message him. So I can't really demonstrate this because I don't have a camera, but any key you press, I'm just pressing random keys right now. I don't know if you can hear it, but it will type out the message for you. This was inspired by a game called Emily is Away, which is a really old free game. I think it has a very similar system where you're messaging someone like that. But the reason for that is a couple things. I'll keep messaging my boss by just pressing random keys. The reason I decided to go with a system like this is, of course, it plays on the idea that you're just using your normal computer, doing normal everyday things. And you're messaging your boss like you normally would message on your normal computer. But also the fact that you can't really choose what to say. Like anything you type, you can't really choose what. Oh, didn't mean to click off there. The reason you can't choose what to say to your boss is it plays on the ideas of free will. And if AI are conscious, do they really have free will? Can we create free will? Do people have free will? It doesn't really have much commentary on that, but it just plays into those philosophical themes of free will. Do I really have a choice to message my boss? Okay, big spoilers ahead. It might become quite obvious in the middle of the game, but the character the player is playing as is an AI. You figure out that you are in an AI. You are an AI in a simulation, simulating other AI. It's never made abrupt, but your boss is probably also an AI in the simulation above, being simulated by someone else in a simulation above. The whole reason being the game is called It's Simulations All the Way Down. There's simulations within simulations within simulations, which also plays on Nick Bostrom's theories. And, if you can simulate something in a simulation, then you can create so many more AI people. And that means if there are more AI people that exist or will exist, then real people in the real world. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but that means if there are more AI than real people, then we must, conclude that it's more probable that we're one of these AIs rather than real people. So that's how these sort of ideas come together. I don't know if I'm explaining these things properly. This is very unscripted, and I am just going through the game like this. But yeah, I hope that made some sense. I should really planned out a script for this. But anyway, I haven't really explained what we are doing right now. Whilst I've been doing this, maybe you've been reading what our boss is saying. But the boss, this is just here for context, really. They are they're telling us that we're an intern working at a new company, and we're here to create AI stuff. The whole thing is a little bit sketchy from what it gets a little bit more sketchier as we're going on. I'm trying to talk, so I'm not actually reading how far we've got into this. But he's just telling us that we're a new intern, we're working for cheap to help finish the simulation. It's a bit, it's a dodgy company. It's supposed to be a bit of a parody, a bit lighthearted. The game starts off a little bit silly and goofy, and as you get further into the game, you start killing the AI, the conscious AI people, And it starts to get a little bit dark when you realize, you start thinking about the ethics of your decisions, what it is that you're actually, doing. You're controlling the lives of people. You're basically playing God, and that gets a little bit darker and a little bit, you realize how bad it actually is. But I'm gonna probably pause, or actually I made a button that skips this whole thing. You can skip the whole introduction, say if it's your second playthrough. Obviously you don't want to keep typing to your boss, so let's skip what he's saying. I've already told you the context. He tells you a little bit about the simulation, what you need to do. So let's go to the home menu. Got a little skip intro button. Makes life easier for everyone, and the whole conversation is finished. I should probably talk about a little bit about how I actually made this system. So the whole game was made in Unity. I think Unity is really good for doing quite basic things like this. I've used a plugin called Fungus, which helps with dialogue systems, although I haven't used the specific Fungus. They're called Say Dialogues, and I haven't used that to create this text thing, but I have used the Fungus flowchart to help create the effect of someone messaging you back. So when you saw before, there was like a little text pop up to say that he was messaging you. That was all done by hand. I had to change the timing in these flowcharts. All that's really happening is these text bubbles are just activating. They're all deactivated before, and it's a linear story, so I can just activate them. They appear in a nice little thing like this, so you can scroll through it. And yeah, that's basically how I did it. Not much code needed for something like this. I think the only code used was, I didn't actually show this, but if you go off the SMS message, a notification will always pop up. Actually, no, that's a lie. I did do a lot of code for how you actually message your boss. So the inputs you make, I've got a little system that I made set up that is, it always has the pre-made message, and when that method is called, the player can then type that message and it will continue the Say Dialogues, not the Say Dialogues, the flowchart. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. It works in the end. I will like to also say this game I created with very minimal programming skills. As I said, I had a background in philosophy. I decided to take up game design as that's what I was passionate about. I've been creating like a card game on the side, and I wanted to try and get into the gaming industry and be a game designer because I really enjoy that sort of thing. And through the year of my master's whilst doing game design, I taught myself programming and Unity all by myself. It was very difficult, but I actually really enjoy both now. I really wish I took up programming so much sooner because it's actually really fun. But I taught myself programming for a year, and now I'm feeling a bit more competent, so I decided to make this whole game. That's the dialogue system. This pops up a little bit later in the game, as the boss will message you with more tasks to do. But we're at the end of the introduction now. He's given us a tutorial video. I won't show the whole video. It's about 6 minutes long. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I won't talk over this, but you can kind of get the gist from the start.
Welcome to Advancing AI, the leading company in AI technology.
Just to let you know, I got my sister to do the voiceover for this.
In the development of our upcoming project, the Ancestor Simulation. This training video is designed to prep you with the skills and information you need to perform well on your first day.
Okay, I won't show any more of that. But basically, it's like my sister is a sales trainer, and she makes videos with that same voice. I edited the video, but it's kind of, I've used, it's a training video with a bit of a parody of those generic kind of corporate with no real soul or anything in it. It's just a very corporate feeling video about how to kill people. Basically, I'll go through the game and I'll show you how you need to kill people, but it just tells you what you need to do and how to do it in a very light-hearted way when you're doing something awful. So let's go in, let's run the simulation. Yeah, it's a little bit scary because creating people on your computer is a bit scary. I think if that is possible. I don't know if it. I don't think AI can be created. Conscious AI can be created. I don't think that's quite possible. But if it was, that is quite a scary thought. So this is the simulation. These are little Sims. They're walking around. They're fully conscious people. If you click on them, this guy is glitched out. I had a lot of playtesters think that this was an actual bug. That's part of the game. They're glitched out. They're ones that we need to delete and fix, and we got to figure out how to delete him because he's bugged out. You can listen to what he says. He's just saying an error code to me. You can listen to his thoughts, but because he's bugged out, he has zero thoughts. In contrast to someone who isn't a bug, he's hiccuping. He's a little bit drunk, Brian Smith. He's a little bit drunk. If you can read his thoughts, you can see he's a little bit funky right now. So the point is, we're given the task to delete any Sims that are questioning their reality, who have figured out that they're living in a simulation, because the simulation itself, well, it looks really crappy. If you go out here, it looks a bit like the Matrix. It's a bit buggy, this place, and a lot of the Sims are figuring out they're in a simulation, and you need to remove them. You need to play gods and remove them. Obviously, this ties in with thinking about the ethics of creating AI. Obviously, I'm not sure if in the future conscious AI are being created. I don't think it's going to be anyone's job to just go in and delete, I don't know, people who are questioning their reality, but just go in and kill them. But the idea about going in and killing conscious AI sort of goes over how conscious AI would actually work. So let's say I turn off my computer with conscious AI running on it. Does that just kill them? If I boot them up again, are they just replicating, code on a file? Did I just create new life? If I keep turning on and off my computer, are they coming alive and then dying again and coming alive and dying again? It's playing into those sorts of ideas and concepts, what it actually means to create AI in a computer. So you're killing these Sims because if you were to be creating AI in a computer like this, you would just be, killing them all anyway. So the tutorial itself tells us to kill Brian because he's a problem. If you go through his thoughts, eventually he will just be like, wouldn't it be funny if I'm in a simulation? But the tutorial tells us to do it, so we must do it. We can use these to mark different things. So I've had a look at him, so I'm going to use this star, and he's a problem, so I'm going to put this X here. We're going to go into the real-time code view. This is the code running the simulation. Of course, it's a bit like the Matrix, a little bit of a nod to that movie, because I think if anyone's thinking about media that talks about living in simulations, you're probably going to be thinking about the Matrix. The code rain is very iconic, but it's very symbolic as well, and I think the symbolism also works for this game. You can see this sort of alien-looking codes that is not in English. You don't really know what it's written in, and that sort of represents the idea that future technology and future code will need to be used to create these like otherworldly AI beings. There's technology beyond our time that we can't comprehend just yet. So that's what this is kind of representing. But we're only, as an intern, we're only given certain permissions. So we're only allowed to go in and kill Sims. So we've only been given the opportunity to search up Sims here. So let's put in his code, FR867GB2. Look him up. There's our Brian Smith. So if we run a copy here, the context is we are not running the copy that is in the simulation right now, but we're running a copy with all the memories of all types of variants of Brian. So if you run in here, he is not very happy with us. I wouldn't be happy too if I had memories of thousands. I don't know how many times Brian has been run. He complains that he's been run like thousands of times. So if I had memories of thousands of lives and I kept getting killed and reborn and killed and reborn, I wouldn't be so happy as well. So he's not happy about being in the tutorial. But all we can really do is kill him. It says execute here. This means we're executing the deletion program. We're not actually, it doesn't mean we're executing his life. We're executing the deletion program right here. Bit of a double meaning. And yeah, we kill him. And if we go back in the simulation, he is gone. He is nowhere to be found. So the gameplay loop here is we look at a sim. We need to decide if it's problematic. It's only problematic if it is questioning their reality. So if we look at Paul here, he's going for a little run. He's a bit hot and bothered. He's thinking about his run. Doesn't want to go back to work. Yeah, he's not a problem. He's not a problem for us. I think our boss is messaging us here as well, giving us a bit of context about the permissions. I'll let him speak to me. We'll have to speak to him at the end. As you can see there, the notification pops up whenever a message appears and disappears. Whenever it is we are here. So let's just let him. Yeah, we've got to be sure they're 100% a problem before we run them, because we have no choice but to delete them, because all the Sims keep begging for their lives. So great, let's go back to work. Let's carry on. This guy's just sitting in the middle of the road. What's he thinking? Talking to Brenda. She's another character in the world somewhere. So far he doesn't see. He's thinking about burgers. So far he doesn't. Yeah, I mean, he's not much of a problem. So we should probably say he's good. We've had a look at him. He's not a problem. Same with him. He's not a problem either. If we go on Natasha Lloyd, she's crying right now. Why is she crying? Why is no one picking up 999? Well, probably. Well. The game doesn't tell you, but no one's picking up 999 is because the simulation has been rushed. They're just trying to get it out really quickly to sell because they're running out of money. So they haven't actually programmed in police or cars for that matter. And someone's trying to kill her. Yeah, someone's trying to kill her. Someone being a murderer does not mean that they're a problem, because they're not actually they're not questioning their reality. But if we find someone who's trying to kill her, we can delete him. We might get in trouble with our boss, but we can delete him. So I guess if we come across him, we'll find that. Where's some more Sims? Jenny Merigi. I know for sure who is a problem and who's not. She's fine. She's just waiting for the bus. There are no buses programmed. There's no cars programmed in yet. So the bus will never come. Same with the trains. There's no trains are ever going to come. But if we look off screen, there's a little guy who's glitched out of our world, which is a bit of a problem. Something's gone on there. So that is a bug. We need to kill this guy. Let's go on in and let's do that. KL622LS1. Let's see what he has to say. Here to fix the bug. Yeah, he knows this is a backup copy of one with lots of memories. So obviously the sim in the simulation doesn't know he's in a simulation, but this one does. Kind of weird that it broke. And he realizes that we're an intern and we don't have permission, which means we're going to have to kill him forever, delete him from the simulation altogether. Yeah, sorry, mate. It's very subtle, but the more people you kill, the more glitchy this effect looks. This is just like a global volume Unity setting, lots of post-processing settings for all this like wavy, if you can see these wavy lines, but this gets thicker and thicker and worse as it goes along. So yeah, we've killed them. Let's have a little look at what these people are saying. So these guys, they're doing head transplants. Currently not a thing that happens in the real world, but they're sort of having a conversation about consciousness. Although this is nothing to do with simulations, this is talking about what creates consciousness. If there's a soul, how if we go to sleep, is our consciousness also turned off? A bit like if we turn off a computer and the AI is turned off, are there multiple consciousnesses every time we wake up, go to sleep? Something like that. I don't know, there's a lot of context here, and if you play it yourself, you can sort of discover these things for yourself. I'm just really briefly going over it because I got a lot more to show about the game. But yeah, they're talking about philosophy of mind. These are some theories from some philosophy of mind stuff that I used to study. And I try to create a dialogue between... It's a bit like Socratic dialogues. If you think about Socrates, all of philosophy was... in ancient Greece was also always done through dialogues. It was never written down. I think it was Plato who actually wrote down a lot of these dialogues. It's been a long time since I've done ancient Greek philosophy, so please don't quote me on that. But Socratic dialogues are very important because philosophy was also always discussed through dialogues, which is the reason I chose to discuss philosophy through dialogues in this game, because I also believe talking about philosophy is the best way to learn philosophy. Reading a book about it is good, but having that sort of back and forth, like having arguments about these things, is a lot more important and a better way to learn philosophy. So that's why I've included these dialogues as a way to sort of teach these ideas. If we go into our folder, you might have seen the speech transcript, which I haven't looked at. The speech, what they were talking about is all found here. You can use this to help. Well, with the error code, we need to figure out how to delete that guy, and we need to fill out this error code. So we need to find the code here. We can use that. But if we clicked off, or if I was talking to you right now and wasn't actually reading the dialogue, I can go back here and decide whether we should delete these people. They aren't questioning the true nature of their reality themselves. They're just they're questioning consciousness and skeptical about that. So these guys are not a problem. You can also see who's been killed. You can see the ones that you have looked at and the ones you need to find. So this will help you kind of narrow down who you're trying to look for. We don't want to kill these guys. They're not questioning their reality. They're just questioning consciousness itself. Our boss has sent us another message. What do you need, boss? He's gonna, well, I know what happens, of course. He's gonna tell us to kill a certain guy. This is where things get a little bit touchy. There are, this is a bit of a, although it starts off quite lighthearted, I do talk about things like suicide, which might be like a bit of a touchy subject for some. So if that is quite triggering for people, this probably is not the game for you. But we're told, because this looks a bit of a problem. He's not a problematic sim himself, but it's a problem to be shown for the company. The fact that this guy wants to kill himself is a nuisance to the company, which is also, again, a bit of commentary on how a lot of companies are quite exploitative and don't really care about people. It's more about just helping the company. So a little bit of, I don't know, political commentary, I guess. Here's Stuart. He's not having a good time. Yeah, he thinks he's killed his wife and kids, which is pretty horrible. And he never did it because it was just the memories of it being implanted. His wife and kids never actually existed. So we have to kill him anyway and put him out of his misery, which is kind of horrible. He's not so happy. Well, there we go. Let's go find some more Sims. Over here we have some people. Philosophy. Oh, we got some philosophy students here. Of course, we put some philosophy students discussing philosophy in my philosophy game. I would, it's a lot more dialogue and it takes a little bit of time to get through. But they've had a lecture on skepticism, and Samantha here is connecting the fact that in the news they're talking about AI, and what if she is one of the AI in this, from linking this to her philosophical skepticism discussion. Of course, you can read through this yourself if you play the game, but we're gonna get rid of her. I think she's a bit of a problem for our simulation right now. Oh no, we don't want to kill Harry Holmes. He's not actually questioning. He's the one arguing against skepticism. He's like, oh, why would you believe this? And Samantha is one we must kill. So let's do that right now. 8 to HE7. Yeah, she's not so happy about being given memories about being a philosopher. Of course that's going to mess up the simulation. She ain't happy with us. Well, let's get her out of there. If we kill Samantha though, the executing the deletion program doesn't just delete the sim, but also deletes memories of that sim from everyone else. So if we look at his thoughts, what was he doing? Sworn I was here talking to a friend. Well, he's all on his own. He just does not remember Samantha at all. This happens with a lot of other people as well. If you kill some people that remember someone else, then that will mess with their memories. So there's a lot of little details hidden around places for you to find different people. Ones I didn't show you this, but there are some without any profiles. Is that a bug? No, they are zombie sims. This is an idea, I think, presented by, at least documented by a philosopher, David Chalmers. A argument against the fact that we could be living in a simulation, or is the fact that if we go back to this discussion about if future technology allows us to create loads and loads of sims, and if there are more AI sims than non-sims, then that means we have to be one of these sims. What if these future humans had the ability to to understand how the brain works and how to create AI and conscious AI. If they realized that this was unethical, why would they not just create sims that aren't conscious but just replicate the functions of a real sim? So these zombie sims exist to present that very reason, and there are some other sims in this game that sort of discuss this idea. But zombie sims exist as they're just like a stand-in. They're not actually conscious. They just walk around and look like real people and perform the exact same functions, but don't actually exist. I don't think Chalmers called them zombie sims. That's something that I called them, because I think Chalmers talks about philosophical zombies in an unrelated philosophy of mind article. That's getting too deep into it. That's nothing to do with this. But zombie sims, we can ignore those. Henry Baker, he's not saying anything. He's buying flour, butter, eggs and sugar. He's trying to remember to get some vanilla and baking soda. He is not a problem. We don't need to worry. He's good. He's not a problem for our simulation. If we go up here, here's another one of our glitched guys. Okay, we've got 2 bits of the code. We just need to find 1 more. It's not obvious that the error coders need to be used in that way, but you know, that's for you to figure out when you play the game yourself. These 2 guys, it's Nick Bostrom and David Chalmers, 2 philosophers in my simulation. If we listen to their thoughts, I might be talking about something a bit weird. It seems a bit off. Well, let's see what they're saying. And I'll let this play a little bit, but they are discussing specifically Nick Bostrom's simulation theory. Later on through the game, as we progress and we delete more people, more of these guys will pop up that talk a bit more about simulation theory, and this is sort of teaches people about the theory. I went over it really briefly, but this goes over it briefly as well and starts talking about why this theory is incorrect as well. I'm not trying to convince people that they're in a simulation. I'm trying to present these arguments and present different sides to these arguments. So the Sims in this world, some of them are like, nah, you know, we can't be in a simulation right now for X and Y reason, but we, you know, have to delete some of them anyway. Obviously they are in a simulation, so the fact that they don't believe they're in a simulation is quite funny. But yeah, they're just discussing these theories. They've instead of glitches and bugs convincing them that they're in a simulation, they've just logically figured it out, and we need to delete them because of it. Yeah, they are convinced by Nick Bostrom's simulation argument. So we're gonna go in and kill these guys. Let's do that now. IP820KJ1. Yeah, he's like, we've gotten David Chalmers. All his memories are here in our simulation. Let's kill him. And he's on his own now. He's still thinking about simulation argument, but his thoughts change a little bit because we killed his friend. He's on his own. His thoughts are a little bit different. Let's kill Nick Bostrom here. YT143KL1. Well, definitely saw this coming. Yeah, he created the theory, so of course he would. Let's get him as well. Alright, let's go find some more Sims. I think if we kill 6 problematic Sims... Oh, I think this is our last guy. Yes, it is. Let's put together this code. I never remember it. I always have to go in and have a look. So, AB979. And then I think it's UZ2 actually. I remember. There you go, Michael Holt. So the bug here is we've accidentally uploaded his consciousness to split it between 3 different people, and that's really messed him up. He's not happy about that. Well, we've got to get rid of him then. So yeah, that's kind of the game loop. We're going around, we're sort of finding some interesting philosophical discussions. We're finding weird people with different thoughts. We're trying to figure out if they're a problem or not. A lot of people aren't problems, but are sort of like we had with this guy here, sort of questioning other philosophical things. Some of them are like murderers, like we saw before, who we don't want to kill. There are some people like this who she's like, she really wants to divorce this guy and is probably cheating on her husband. If we see their dialogue, she's just not very impressed by him whatsoever. We'll let him go. So we can like kill one of these and then change the memories of the other one depending on who we kill. So we really just don't like someone, we could just kill them. You can kill anyone in this game as well. You don't even have to follow what your boss is saying. You can just go ahead and do as many killings as you like. I think this is the murderer here as well. Yeah. Yeah, like we could kill this murderer. Let's kill the murderer. Why not? I mean, he deserves to die. He's a murderer. But what does that say about us? Aren't we the murderers too? Why do we have to choose who lives and who dies? as we can see, he doesn't want to be a murderer. We just keep implanting memories of him being a murderer. It's kind of messed up of us. Why would we do that? You can see now everything's looking a little bit more faded and glitchy, and things are getting a little bit darker as we kill more and more people. Let's go back to Natasha, who we were trying to save. I think she won't even remember. Why is she crying? What was she hiding from? She doesn't even know. She doesn't even remember there being a murderer. Well, at least we helped her out, but are we really the good guys for killing that poor guy? Alright. What does the boss want? We have been killing lots of Sims, don't you worry, boss. Yeah, everything's looking real bad as we kill more and more people. Sort of trying to hit home the fact that we're not good people here. We're not doing very good stuff. So we need to kill 17 problematic Sims altogether. So we can use this to help. We've already killed... Well, the game doesn't actually tell us if we've killed a problematic one or not. We have to figure that one out at the end. So far, we've killed quite a few. Stuart was a problem. We didn't click him off. Nick Bostrom was also a problem. Mark Rowland... Well, he wasn't actually a problem, but we just killed him because we thought we should do the ethical thing. So he's dead because of that. Yeah, we just need to do that. Kill 17. I got you, boss. I won't go through and kill every single person. We now have the option to upload the sim when we're finished. And that finishes the game early, but it means you have to sort of decide for yourself when you're ready. If you just don't want to play the game anymore, you can just upload it and see what happens at the end. There are 2 endings. You can, you can get a perfect ending, kill all the right people, but you get questioned about the choices that you've made throughout the game. So if we killed people for ethical reasons, we'll be asked about that. If we just did it perfectly, the boss will be super happy with you and you get that ending. But yeah, we'll see that in a sec. We should probably kill this guy. He's preaching the words of... he's trying to tell everyone that they're in a simulation right now. We don't know how he's figured it out, but probably because the simulation looks a bit of a mess. Yeah, we'll get a promotion, don't worry. He's happy he's finally met his simulator. Well, good for him. Good for him. Yeah, these are more guys that are talking about simulation hypothesis. They must have been told another time about it. They've logically figuring out. We have to kill them too. But yeah, I'm not going to go through all of this. This video is going on long enough. Before I go to the end of the game, I will just talk about a bit about how I made a lot of this. So these sims, obviously, I've programmed them to, you can click on them and that changes things around. The camera snaps to them when you click on them sometimes. That's all programmed by me. I've used the nav mesh for these ones that walk around. It's very basic. I just set like a random destination and they just move there. So that's all that really does. And these tile maps as well, I used pre-made assets because I'm trying to focus on game design. I'm not really too bothered about aesthetics, although I'm trying to use aesthetics with these shaders that I've created. And setting the different global volumes. I also made the little pixel art for everyone and these funny little blocky people to represent the Sims. But that's how I did that basically. Alright, let's go, let's upload our simulation. Things are a little bit spooky now. So this is where we get to the end of the game and we figure out we're an AI, and the person in the simulation up is speaking to us and is going to question us about something. You'll find out in a moment that they're trying to train AI to help create AI for them, and so this was all basically a test, and they're questioning whether we can do it correctly. Why do we not complete the task? I don't want to kill anyone else. Sims are people. You got lots of different options here. Why did we delete unproblematic ones? I did it for ethical reasons. We did do that for ethical reasons. Yeah, we know. We didn't do the right thing. I do. I murdered them. So if we were paying attention to the philosophical things about AI, then hopefully yes. Could be I'm an AI stuck inside a simulation. Do I believe this personally? No, actually. I'm feeling skeptical though. So it kind of evaluates everyone that you've killed. It kind of evaluates, you know, what are the reasons you killed them for? Is it for ethical reasons? Did you just do it because you did? Depending on who you killed, you'll get lots of different dialogues at the end here, which I've talked about before. You find out there's a lot of team of people, you know, working with us. I'll let this play out to the end. And our game gets turned off at the end there. So yeah, this is my recording thing. Let's turn that off. But yeah, that's the game. They turn the game off at the very end. They boot you out. But that's a little glimpse into the game. I did brush over quite a lot of it. Obviously, it's more interesting if you discover these things for yourself, and as I know what everyone does and where to go and where to find things and who to find that's problematic, obviously the game is there and is made to, you know, be discovered for itself, but I hope that video or this video has been good, giving you an insight of how the game was made, a little bit about the philosophy and design behind it. I did a lot of research on simulation theory, not just Nick Bostrom and David Chalmers, but other philosophers and who've replied to them and written articles about why simulation theory, you know, is wrong and why we shouldn't think it's, you know, we're most probable. All that's in the game itself, which is for you to discover for your own. I also on the itch page, I've linked to some good links that sources that I found when trying to research this, which I think is really interesting. So if the concepts in this game do interest you, then please do some research for yourself and look at some of these articles, because I think a lot of these philosophies are quite interesting, and I just sort of want to you know, get people thinking about that and thinking in a more philosophical way. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and yeah, I'll see you next time, I guess.